Greetings, my brothers and sisters. How y'all doing today? I hope all is well. Peace and blessings be to you all. I want to come to you out there with a video, speak on the word of the Most High and being the foundation of it all, foundation of life, the foundation of creation. In the beginning, as we know in Genesis, it states that the Most High spoke. Pretty much the Spirit of the Most High moved over the face of the waters. And he said, let there be light. Also, explaining that in the beginning, it was darkness upon the face of the waters, with that concept, it's important to understand that the very beginning of it all literally stems from the words of the Most High. And it does not change, Life will always stem from the words of the Creator, And everything that we see and are able to do is only a continuation of what He made possible, But just as we have the ability to do wrong, so it was in the garden, as it was a tree of life and also a tree of knowledge of good and evil. So understanding that in life, the potential of the wrong thing to happen, existing, is just an understanding of life. And so a part of life is understanding that there's something that is out to take away life. And that is like that darkness from the beginning, Imagine somebody goes through something and then they overcome it, but they still have struggles with it because, it once was, maybe somebody recovering from addiction, that darkness, the ability to do wrong, the potential to do wrong represents that darkness, and so it's important to understand what life does. Life saves, life saves and protects us from ways in which we at one point may not have known were affecting us in a negative way, or and knowing we're not strong enough to put it away. But the words of Yah, the words of life, and seeking it and truly taking it within gives us that strength to walk away. And it's also a matter of your willpower to choose one thing over the other, What will you have, life or death, Will you continue to struggle unnecessarily, or will you overcome your own desire for whatever it may be, that brings about a negative effect upon you, in order that you may live, or feel what it truly means to be alive, The Father created us with intentions to give us life. So the actions of mankind in the garden eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil brought about death. And so likewise, the tree of knowledge of good and evil was a knowledge that was not needed to understand. The only thing that needed to be understood is that it brings about death, that it is against life, you know. And so likewise, there are certain things that you don't have to go to indulge in order to understand that it's not for you, you know. And the thing about it in this world is that the world sells and pushes a lot of things that are not for you, that are not for us, you know. As the word says, we are strangers in a strange land, you know. And so to understand that, truly, it comes with a sense of separation, you know, being set apart, not following the ways of the world, the trends of the world, you know, because as it says, broad is the path that leads to destruction, and narrow is the path that leads to life, and there be few that find life, you know. So with your life, make sure you take it serious, you know, because to some people, life may be or feel like a game, in a sense to waste it, you know. But for few, you know, life is real, and you can see in the lens of reality. And seeing in the lens of reality, you want to encourage and motivate, if anything, you know, someone with the way you lead life, that they may also be saved, you know, that they may also see in the lens of light, you know, but never to compromise your position of life, of the kingdom, you know, with old ways, with ways that we've once overcome, with ways that, for one, bring about our destruction, you know, that bring us back to a state of discomfort, you know. Find comfort and peace in life, you know. The structure that life gives, the structure that life demands from you, find peace in that. Seek to master it. When I say master, I just mean just sharpen yourself, you know. Even as it says, be sober and vigilant, you know. Sober-minded, be clear-minded, you know. Just be clear-minded, you know. Don't allow the world to fill you with intoxicate you with all of its lies, with all of its wonders and desires, you know. It's easy to get caught up, you know, and it's hard to climb, you know. It's easy to fall, but it's hard to climb. Once you make that climb and that effort towards climbing, keep at it, you know. Give you all, you know what I'm saying, to stay on top of it all, you know, because as it was in the garden, the duties to maintain life, you know, it's the same thing to maintain life, but now we have to gain it, you know. And the world seeks to twist and hide the understanding of life truly, you know. You have to flip your world upside down in order to truly see life, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to come with the destruction of this world mentally. It's going to come with understanding that this world is nothing, you know. Because this world will pedestalize itself, you know, put itself on top. So you have to see the world for what it is, you know, who it is. And it's, at the end of the day, it runs off of the lostness of us. And as long as we're lost in it, it rules over us. But to come out of it is to put it beneath us, you know. So I pray y'all be blessed in the name of the begotten Son. All praise be our Father, I'll be Yahuwah. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Amen.